Hari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari. Jaya Jashodanandana, Jaya Braja Janaranjana. Jaya Jamunadhiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prahlada Singha, Jaya Prahlada Singha, Prahlada Singha, Jaya Prahlada Singha. जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। श्रील प्रभुपाद की गौर प्रेमानंदे। Readings from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 5, and today we are going to see verse 45. Okay. So before getting into the verse, let's chant the auspicious invocation prayers. I'll chant, please try to repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nigamakalpatarorgalitam phalam Sukhamukatamrita dravasamyutam Pibata Bhagavatam rasamalayam Muhuraho rasika bhuvibhavakaha Narayanam namaskritya Naran chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam Tato jayam mudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavatyuttama shloke Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki Tan vaihi asad-vṛttibhir akṣibhir Tan vaihi asad-vṛttibhir akṣibhir parāhṛtāntar-manasaḥ pareśa parāhṛtāntar-manasaḥ pareśa Tan vaihi asad-vṛttibhir akṣibhir parāhṛtāntar-manasaḥ pareśa atho na paśyanti urugāya nūnam atho na paśyanti urugāya nūnam yete padanyāsa-vilāsa-lakṣyāḥ yete padanyāsa-vilāsa-lakṣyāḥ Tan vaihi asad-vṛttibhir akṣibhir parāhṛtāntar-manasaḥ pareśa atho na paśyanti urugāya nūnam yete padanyāsa-vilāsa-lakṣyāḥ Tan vaihi asad-vṛttibhir akṣibhir parāhṛtāntar-manasaḥ pareśa atho na paśyanti urugāya nūnam yete padanyāsa-vilāsa-lakṣyāḥ Tan vaihi asad-vṛttibhir akṣibhir parāhṛtāntar-manasaḥ pareśa atho vai paśyanti urugāya nūnam yete padanyāsa-vilāsa-lakṣyāḥ Tan vaihi asad-vṛttibhir akṣibhir parāhṛtāntar-manasaḥ pareśa atho na paśyanti urugāya nūnam ete padanyāsa-vilāsa-lakṣyāḥ. Mataji. Tān vaihi asad-vṛttibhir akṣibhir parāhṛtāntar-manasaḥ pareśa atho na paśyanty urugāya nūnam ete padanyāsa-vilāsa-lakṣyāḥ. Tān, the lotus feet of the Lord. Why? Certainly, he, for asat, materialistic, vṛttibhiḥ, by those who are influenced by external energy, akṣibhir, by the senses, those, parāhṛta, missing at a distance, antaḥ-manasaḥ, of the internal mind, pareśa, O Supreme, atho, therefore, never, paśyanty, can see, urugāya, O great, nūnam, but, those who, your, padanyāsa, activities, vilāsa, transcendental enjoyment, lakṣyāḥ, those who see. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace of Acharana, the Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation, please repeat. O great Supreme Lord, offensive persons whose internal vision has been too affected by external materialistic activities cannot see your lotus feet, but they are seen by your pure devotees, whose one and only aim is to transcendentally enjoy your activities. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 18.61, the Lord is situated in everyone's heart. It is natural that one should be able to see the Lord at least within himself. But that is not possible for those whose internal vision has been covered by external activities. The pure soul, which is symptomized by consciousness, can be easily perceived even by a common man because consciousness is spread all over the body. The yoga system as recommended in Bhagavad Gita is to concentrate the mental activities internally and thus see the lotus feet of the Lord within oneself. But there are many so-called yogis who have no concern with the Lord but are only concerned with consciousness, which they accept as final realization. Such realization of consciousness is taught by Bhagavad Gita within only a few minutes, whereas the so-called yogi continues to take years to realize it because of their offenses at the lotus feet of the Lord. The greatest offense is to deny the existence of the Lord as separate from the individual soul, or to accept the Lord and the individual soul as one and the same. The impersonalists misinterpret the theory of reflection, and thus they wrongly accept the individual consciousness as the supreme consciousness. The theory of reflection of the Supreme can be clearly understood without any difficulty by any sincere common man. When there is a reflection of the sky on water, both the sky and the stars are seen within the water, but it is understood that the sky and the stars are not to be accepted on the same level. The stars are part of the sky, and therefore they cannot be equal to the whole. The sky is the whole, and the star are the parts. They cannot be one and the same. The transcendentalists who do not accept the supreme consciousness as separate from individual consciousness are as offensive as the materialists who deny even the existence of the Lord. Such offenders cannot actually see the lotus feet of the Lord within themselves, nor are they nor are they even able to see the devotees of the Lord. The devotees of the Lord are so kind that they roam to all places to enlighten the people in God consciousness. The offenders, however, lose their chance to receive the Lord's devotees, although the offenseless common man is at once influenced by the devotee's presence. In this connection, there is an interesting story of a hunter and Devarishi Narada. The hunter in the forest, although a great sinner, was not an intentional offender. He was at once influenced by the presence of Narada, and he agreed to take the path of devotion, leaving aside his hearth and home. But the offenders Nalakuvera and Manigriva, even though living amongst the demigods, had to undergo punishments of becoming tree in their next lives, although by the grace of a devotee, they were later delivered by the Lord. Offenders have to wait until they receive the mercy of the devotees, and then they can become eligible to see the lotus feet of the Lord within themselves. But due to their offense and extreme materialism, they cannot even see the devotee of the Lord. Engaged in external activities, they kill the internal vision. The Lord's devotees, however, do not mind the offenses of the foolish in many gross and subtle body endeavors. The Lord's devotees continue to bestow blessings upon all such offenders without hesitation. That is the nature of devotees. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakhagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakhagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shurnavadi Paschaittya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangalangayate Grimit Mande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram Kathanchana Smrite Yasmin Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet Smrite Pritam Syat Shri Chaitanyam Namamitam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Nitinamine Nama Taryapadaya Nitai Kripa Padayine Gaura Katadamadaya Nagara Gramatarine Hare Krishna. So, we are in the sweetest section of Canto 3, which is the prayer by the demigods. This is very, very sweet, the prayers of demigods. They are more or less like a dialogue between the lover and the beloved. The demigods, they are actually praying to the Lord with great amount of intimacy. They have been created and they have their assigned work, but they are unable to do their assigned work. And they know that the only person who can help them to do their assigned work is the Supreme Lord. So therefore, in their wonderful prayers, they express their utter dependence on the Lord to please the Lord. See, this is very nice. They want to please the Lord, and they know that unless they are completely dependent on the Lord, they cannot please the Lord. So therefore, they are praying with great love and intimacy. And they are telling the Lord, oh my dear Lord, why don't you do something? We want to please you. And we know that we cannot please you without you. So you are the medium to please you. So why don't you do something so that we can please you? Very, very beautiful prayer, very intimate prayer, very, very intimate way of praying. And from the beginning to end, they simply talk about surrender. This whole prayer, from the beginning to end, is simply about surrender. Namamate deva padara vindam prapanna tapo pashama atapatram yanmulaketa yatayon yassaro samsara dukkam bahir kshipanti. You see, they start with surrender. First they say, we are surrendered. Namami. We are surrendered. We are praying to you. And we are praying to your lotus feet because this lotus feet is like an umbrella. Atapatra is umbrella. So why do you need umbrella? You need umbrella in two occasions. One occasion you need umbrella is when it's too hot, like summer, too hot. You have to protect yourself. Other occasion is that when it's too much raining, you need to protect yourself. So the condition of the material world is like these dualities, either too hot or too raining, too wet, too hot, too wet. Both times you need umbrella. So if you have to overcome the dualities of that material world, you need the umbrella of the lotus feet of the Lord. And those who have taken shelter of that lotus feet, samsara dukkam bahir ukshipanti, simply thrown out the miseries of this material world simply by taking the shelter of your lotus feet. Then the Lord may ask that why we should take shelter of my lotus feet. What is so great about it? Why you are promoting this point? Then they are replying, oh Lord, oh Father, the personality of Godhead, the living entities in the material world can never have any happiness because they are overwhelmed by three kinds of miseries. Therefore, they take shelter of the shade of your lotus feet, which are full of knowledge, and thus we take shelter of them. So then they explain why we should take shelter of the Lord's lotus feet, that what is the reason, and how we can throw out the miseries. So they have explained this part in the next shloka, that yes, this material world is full of miseries. So when we take shelter of your lotus feet, Atman labhamte bhagavam stavangri, when we take shelter of your lotus feet, because the shade of your lotus feet is full of knowledge. It's full of knowledge. It's full of knowledge. Sa vidyam atha ashrameya. Chayam sa vidyam atha ashrameya. This lotus feet is not ordinary lotus feet. It's not ordinary feet. This feet is full of knowledge. So they are saying this is a very important thing. So what is this knowledge you are talking about? What is this knowledge you are talking about? Lord may ask. That what are you talking about? You are saying, my feet, I have feet, I have finger, nails. What is knowledge? What knowledge you are talking about? They are answering that question. The lotus feet of the Lord are by themselves the shelter of all places of pilgrimage. The lotus feet of the Lord are by themselves the shelter of all places of pilgrimage. So how does a place become a place of pilgrimage? That we can declare that the so-and-so place is a place of pilgrimage from tomorrow. Can we declare like that? Like for example, we can construct a big park in one place and then say, okay, now this place is a place of pilgrimage. Disneyland is a place of pilgrimage. Can we declare? We cannot declare. Can we artificially make a place of pilgrimage? We cannot. So how does a place become a place of pilgrimage? A place becomes a place of pilgrimage because the Lord performs His pastimes there. That is how it becomes a place of pilgrimage. So the Lord appears there and He does some activities there. So His lotus feet is moving in that place. The Lord's lotus feet in all places of pilgrimage, it is moving. It is moving here and there. So, like Mahaprabhu was moving here and there in Mayapur, and His lotus feet is there in Mayapur everywhere. He was moving here and there. He was going to Ganga, he was sometimes doing Ashtakrosh Parikrama, sometimes he is doing Panchakrosh Parikrama, he is going to Shiva's Angan, he takes a big procession and then he goes to Kachankasi's house. He does so many activities. So the movement of the lotus feet of the Lord along with His associates, in order to do so many activities, it actually makes a place of pilgrimage. So then there is something to talk about in that place. So that is the knowledge. And that knowledge is contained where? It is contained in that lotus feet. Because when the Lord appears, then all great devotees have taken shelter of that lotus feet. And they have moved along with the Lord and they did so many activities. So therefore all that knowledge is stored in that lotus feet. And the devotees are also sitting near that lotus feet. And they are constantly glorifying the Lord and His activities. So therefore the lotus feet is the source of knowledge. Chandas suparnai rishiyo vivikte yasyagam marshoda sarat varayaha. Very beautiful explanation. The clear-minded sages carried by the wings of Vedas always search after the nest of your lotus-like face. Some of them surrender at your lotus feet every step. So, very beautiful description they are giving, that why you should surrender to the lotus feet. And then the Lord may ask, okay, I came, I did so many things, I moved my lotus feet here and there. So what is the big deal about it? How does that help you to remove the threefold miseries? You still did not explain it properly. Can you explain? So they are explaining further. Simply by hearing about your lotus feet with eagerness and devotion, and by meditating upon them within heart, one becomes enlightened with knowledge. On the strength of detachment, one becomes pacified. Therefore, we must take the shelter of the sanctuary of your lotus feet. So see, systematically they are explaining why we should surrender. Very systematic explanation they are giving. That why we should surrender to the lotus feet. Because if we hear about these activities with great eagerness, and if we meditate, then we will become enlightened by knowledge. What is that knowledge? I am one stupid guy wasting my time here. I am not this body. I am a spirit soul. I am servant of Krishna. I should be in the spiritual world. I should be serving Krishna. I should be happy. I should not be suffering here. What nonsense I am doing here. Trying to maintain this body and trying to maintain the extensions of this body. I become madman. Nūnam pramatta kurute vikarmayat indriya pritiya apranoti. Na sadhu manya, it is not very good. This madness is not good. I should go back to my place. I am in a foreign land. This land is not mine. So, by meditating on those activities, we can become pacified. Currently, we are not pacified. Currently, we are not pacified. We are dissatisfied. The body is the cause of constant dissatisfaction. The mind is the cause of constant dissatisfaction. So we are not pacified. We are dissatisfied. So how to be pacified? One should actually take the shelter of the sanctuary of your lotus feet. They are saying, Vrajema tattengri saroja pitam. And what kind of sanctuary it is? It is a lotus sanctuary. It is a lotus sanctuary, saroja pitam. Very, very beautiful verse. Actually, if you meditate on these verses, you will find the intimacy with which these verses are offered. When a man is in love with a woman, then he finds the best words to describe the beauty of a woman. When a woman is in love with a man, then she finds the best ingredients to cook for the man. So, love means choosing everything best. So, same way in these prayers, if you see, the demigods are choosing very best words because they are in love with Krishna. And they are very nicely explaining that, okay, can you explain more about this idea, this whole idea that how do you become enlightened by knowledge? How do you become pacified? Can you explain more about this idea? They are ready. They are saying that you assume incarnations for creation, maintenance, dissolution of cosmic manifestation. Therefore, we all take shelter of your lotus feet. They are always award remembrance and courage to your devotees. See, now they are becoming more specific about why we should remember the Lord. Because this material condition is very, very fearful. This material condition is very fearful. Very, very fearful. There is so much of danger. Padam, padam, yat vipadam. And then we think, oh, my husband will save me, my wife will save me, my son will save me, my daughter will save me, my doctor will save me, my lawyer will save me, my money will save me. We think many things. Dehapatre kalatrajishau, atma sainyeshau, asatsau api, tesham pramatto nidhanam. That we are having big army and we are thinking this army will save me, but nobody will save me. So who will save me? The Lord will save me. And in order to save me, He comes as many incarnations. And whenever we hear the stories of incarnation, Ishanu Katha, then we get great courage. Oh, Krishna came, He saved Prahlad. Krishna came, He saved Dhruva. Krishna came, He did so many activities to save so many people. So, if I also depend on Krishna, Krishna will come and save me also. So, we can actually get encouraged. There's a nice BBT picture in Bhagavad Gita that one person is drowning in the ocean and he is putting his hand out. And the Lord is coming on Garuda and he is pulling his hand and taking him. A very nice BBT picture is there. So, if you are stuck in the ocean, you cannot save yourself by swimming. You cannot save yourself by swimming. Not possible. So, somebody has to come and pull you out. So, like this samsara is like an ocean. The Lord has to come and pull us out. So, therefore, the demigods are saying that, yes, this is the reason how we can get pacified. By hearing your activities, by hearing your katha, by hearing what you have done for us, then we can become very courageous. We can think, oh, I can also go through this. But that means nobody should suffer. The Lord is asking the next question. Oh, you know all this. So that means in the material world, nobody should suffer. Why they are suffering? Lord is asking. So now the demigods are answering that question. They are saying, oh Lord, persons who are entangled by undesirable eagerness for temporary body and kinsmen and who are bound by the thoughts of I, me and mine are unable to see your lotus feet, although your lotus feet is situated within their own bodies, but let us take shelter of your lotus feet. So they are explaining that, see, yeah, in this material world everybody is suffering, but these fellows, they are blind. They are blind. They are unable to see your lotus feet. If they see your lotus feet, they will not suffer. But the demigods are saying, we are not blind. We are not like them. We are not blind. We are trying to see your lotus feet. And we know it's an umbrella, so we want to we want to surrender. That brings us to today's verse. So this is the sequence, very beautiful sequence. That brings us to today's verse. So in this verse, the demigods are explaining why the materialistic people are not able to see the lotus feet and why the devotees are able to see the lotus feet. So in this verse, there are two types of people who are dealt with. The demigods are saying about two people. One person, one set of person who is not able to see the lotus feet, and the other set of person who is able to see the lotus feet. So why they are not able to see the lotus feet? Because they are so busy in asad-vṛttibhir, asad-vṛttibhir, akṣibhir. So they have the offensive persons whose internal vision has been too affected by external material activities. This is the reason why they are unable to see. They have become so busy with external material activities that they are unable to see. But the pure devotees are also busy. It's not pure devotees are very lazy. It's not that you can join ISKCON and then you can eat and sleep. Sometimes people think like that. People think like that. When I was leaving my job and when I was coming to Mayapur, so my brother was asking me, hey, what will you do now? What will you do now? You left your job. What will you do now? He was asking because he cannot imagine that if you don't make money, what else you can do? He cannot imagine. So, what will you do now? How will you spend your time? Now 12 years has gone. He doesn't have any doubt that what to do now. So, the devotees are also very busy. The non-devotees are also very busy. Both of them are busy. Both of them are busy. But devotees are very busy in sat-vritti, sato-vritte. You know where this word coming? Sato-vritte. Where it is coming? It is coming in where? Upadeshamrita. Upadeshamrita. Utsahan, nischayat, dhairyat. Tat karma pravartanat. Sangatyagat sato-vritte. Shadbir bhaktir prasidhyati. Sato-vritte. This is opposite to this asad-vritti. Opposite to the asad-vritti. So, the non-devotees are busy in asad-vritti and the devotees are busy in sat-vritti, sato-vritte. And what is the speciality of devotees? This is very nicely explained by Prabhupada. That Lord's devotees, however, do not mind the offenses of the foolish in their many gross and subtle body endeavors. They don't have bodily conception of life. The pure devotees, they don't have bodily conception of life. So today, we are all in a very grave situation. Because the departure of a pure devotee is very grave. We have lost one of the stalwart leaders of ISKCON, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And he left suddenly. Of course, he was not well, he was going through some difficulty, but nobody was expecting him to leave. Nobody was expecting him to leave, but he has left. Suddenly he has left. We heard day for yesterday that he is not well, and then yesterday morning he already left. And today there will be Samadhi ceremony in Vrindavan. So yesterday I'm sure many people watched, I was also watching his final darshan on online. And one of his disciples, he was reading his will, the will of Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. What a will! What a will! Everybody should hear it. Those who know Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he actually know how influential he is. He can speak to the Prime Minister of this country. He can speak to any minister in this country. He knew so many big people. By speaking few words, he could mobilize crores of money for projects. He could inspire so many of his disciples to build so many temples. Recently, I was in Ludhiana. And in Ludhiana, they have built a huge temple. It's like a palace. The temple is like a palace only. And it is built by one family. No donation, no collection, nothing. One family. And how did they build it? Because Gopal Krishna Maharaj told them, build a temple. That's how they built it. Huge temple. Whole of North India, so many temples. Delhi itself. You see how many temples in Delhi? I lost count. I think there are 14 or something in Delhi. And all of them nice, beautiful, gorgeous, huge. 19. 19. None of them small. None of them small. All of them so huge, big, gorgeous. One man behind so much of gorgeous temples. And then in his will, he is writing, I have nothing in my possession. I possess nothing. See, kind of detachment. See the kind of consciousness. Everybody, every ISKCON devotee should actually read that will. It's a personification, an emblem of humility, sacrifice and service. Whatever Maharaj stood for throughout his life, he has the distinction of being the GBC for entire India. Nobody else has that distinction. Prabhupada appointed him as the GBC for entire India. Then later many other GBCs were appointed. And he was the man who was behind the book distribution revolution in India. So keen to distribute Prabhupada books, always encouraging, always encouraging. And encouraging without any inhibition. Is a very famous Sankirtan story that the rivalry between Delhi and Mayapur is a kind of legendary rivalry in book distribution in our times. That who will come first, whether Delhi will come first or Mayapur will come first. I remember Delhi used to always come first and Mayapur always used to come second. It was more or less given that Delhi will come first, Mayapur will come second. And one time, Jayapataka Maharaj wrote one fiery email to all the Mayapur managers. He said, stop all your meetings, stop everything, go distribute books. It was a big email in which the whole fire of book distribution was relit in Mayapur. So everybody started clamoring, oh, how to distribute books, what to do. And then Mayapur came first. And then Delhi, they woke up, hey, these guys are coming first. We thought that they are permanently second, suddenly they have come first, now what to do? So then Delhi and Mayapur competition started. So Delhi started, Mayapur started fighting. I mean, transcendental fight. Good. This fight is good because it actually increases book distribution like anything. And one of the years, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was here, and before the Sankirtan Marathon was starting, we generally we started having this beautiful Bhagavatam class of putting all the leaders to encourage the Sankirtan devotees before the marathon. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj was here. And the Sankirtan devotees of Mayapur went to him and told him that, Maharaj, we want to beat the Delhi devotees, so we want your blessing to beat the Delhi devotees. And then without hesitation, Maharaj said, you have all my blessings to beat them. And then Maharaj went and told Delhi devotees, I gave my blessing to Mayapur devotees to beat you. Now you work hard to beat them. So, you see, so dedicated, so selfless, so much of mode of service. And also very, very simple, extremely simple, extremely simple. So recently when Maharaj was here during the GBC meetings, he had, due to his Parkinson's, then he was in the room, he was alone, he actually fell and there was a big cut on his head. And our doctors, they went and put about 7-8 stitches and then he was bandaged and everything. Then we were actually worried that if there is something wrong, we needed some further investigation. So we sent an ambulance and then we brought him for doing the CT scan in the hospital. So he came and then we did the CT scan. Then we didn't find anything wrong. He was okay. The moment the doctors confirmed that he was okay and there's nothing wrong, he just wanted all the paraphernalia to go away from him. He just said, no, now I can walk back. I'll just go in my car, I'll go back. I don't want so much people around me. So we were actually telling the servants of Maharaj that, see, why are you leaving Maharaj alone? You should constantly be with him. You should always, 2-3 people should travel with him. You should have a group of servants for him. Maharaj is becoming older and older. He needs more attention. You guys should do it. So they were saying that Maharaj doesn't allow more people to travel with him because he is so much worried about the money which is spent for more people to travel with him. You're saying, why you are unnecessarily spending money? We should not spend money like this. I just want one person with me. So they were saying, we have many times told Maharaj, but Maharaj doesn't agree. You see, you can imagine the amount of Lakshmi which comes to him from his disciples. They are all some big industrialists, big men. Of course, he has rich disciples, poor disciples. He has a whole range of disciples. Not that everybody is rich. He is indiscriminate in giving his mercy. But 2 tickets more, 3 tickets more is never going to hurt him, money-wise. But he was not thinking like that. He was thinking, this is Prabhupada's money. It's Prabhupada's money. I don't have any adhikar. I only have responsibility over this money, that this should be spent for Prabhupada. I don't have any ownership of this money. So, this is what the demigods are talking about, that the pure devotees are completely detached from what the material world has to offer because they understand the nature of this material world. So therefore they are able to focus on the lotus feet of the Lord. So Bhagavatam can be learnt in 2 ways. It can be learnt by reading the book, by reading the commentaries of acharyas, by reading the purports. But it can be more powerfully learnt by people who actually live the purports of Prabhupada. And His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj is a personification of the teachings of Prabhupada's purports. by observing him, by knowing about him, by hearing about him, by seeing him, by being near to him, our life can become successful. Our life can become successful. So great, yet so simple. How can one be so great, yet so simple, is to be learnt from the pure devotees. Because in this material world, if you become little great, then you become so pompous. But how can one be so great and yet be so simple? The art of being so great and yet being so simple can be learnt only from pure devotees. The last interaction I personally had with Maharaj was so sweet. It was so sweet. Maharaj was in the flag hoisting ceremony. Of course, I knew him personally because I was part of Mayapur management. And Maharaj was one who encouraged me many times when I got into so many difficulties, or sometime I used to get frustrated. Always he used to call me and talk to me and encourage me. He was constantly there. And very affectionate also, very affectionate to me. I was one of those undeserving souls who actually got a lot of affection from him. He was here in the flag hoisting ceremony, and now I am not so much in management, so I don't get to interact with him so much. I don't see him also. But I was here in the flag hoisting ceremony. Maharaj came, and because of his condition also nowadays, he gets surrounded by so many people, and his servants, they all also around him, and they just want to take Maharaj, and so much of crowd also. So it was like that situation. So I was standing by the entrance, I was standing backside, and Maharaj was just going. I paid my obeisance. And then while going, Maharaj just put a glance on me, and then he kept moving. I was very happy to receive that sidelong glance, and I paid obeisance, and then I got up. But as Maharaj went past me, then probably he realized that I'm standing there, then he came back. He came back, and then he came to me, and then he talked to me. He was asking, how are you? How are you doing? And I told Maharaj, I'm okay, I'm doing good. Then he asked me about the hospital, how it is going on. I said, yes, Maharaj, is going on. Then he also said, you should work with my people. I have a lot of schemes for you. So he did spend that 2 minutes with me trying to understand the project, and he's trying to understand what I'm doing and how I was. And I felt so grateful to him. Such an insignificant person. And he already went past me. There was no need for him to come back to ask me about my well-being. I was already satisfied that I got his darshan, I was near him, and I paid obeisance to him. But he took that trouble to come back and talk to me. That's what Prabhupada is saying here. Very nicely he is saying that the Lord's devotees, however, do not mind the offenses of foolish in their many gross and subtle body endeavors. The Lord devotees continue to bestow their blessings of devotion upon all such offenders without hesitation. This is the nature of devotees. So this is something which we should learn. It's something which we should learn. If we can learn that nature, then one day we may hope to see that lotus feet of the Lord within our heart. Very nicely explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite par, tomara shakati ache. Ami to kangal, Krishna Krishna boli, dahi tava pache pache. So, these devotees, Krishna has become theirs. Krishna se tomar, Krishna has become theirs. And they have the ability to give Krishna ditepa, tamara shakati, because Krishna has empowered them to give Krishna to others. That's why they are able to inspire so many people to take up to Krishna consciousness. to get surrendered to the movement and to serve the movement. And please read his instructions. He gave 10 instructions to his followers. In his will, he left 10 instructions for his followers. And those 10 instructions are instructions for everybody. We should not think that it is only for his disciples. If we take to heart those 10 instructions, we can become a devotee. Become a devotee. 10 powerful instructions he left for his disciples. So, the point is that we are in a very fortunate time, because we have the association of these great devotees who are disciples of Srila Prabhupada. But that association is also very limited, as exemplified by the sudden departure of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So we have to utilize that association properly. We have to utilize that association to strengthen our relationship with Prabhupada. We have to utilize that association to strengthen our commitment to read Prabhupada books, to understand the exalted Krishna conscious philosophy. This is one of the instructions which he left for his disciples, Gopal Krishna Maharaj. That to read Prabhupada books very carefully, to understand the exalted Krishna conscious philosophy, and even more to actually apply it in our lives. So that's an order he left for us. So a pure devotee's life, a pure devotee's association, a pure devotee's activities, and a pure devotee's intent is simply to bestow compassion upon the conditioned souls, so that they can realize their misfortune and good fortune can rise in their lives. So another great luminary has left our vision. But Vaishnavas, they don't die. They live forever, and they live in their instructions. So it's another opportunity for us to reiterate ourselves, to understand those great instructions, to dwell in the Vani of these great devotees, and then try to get that drop of mercy from them, because they have Krishna and they can give Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, I'll stop here. It's already 9 o'clock. We don't have time for question and answers. So, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki, Gaur Premanande. Thank you very much.